to Michelle's family. Carroll came in to save the day, and Dr. Jag Gill is going to explain this whole scenario to us. But Michelle, let's start with you and your husband, Gord.
Right.
And how he went from a very healthy, strong man to somebody who needs dialysis so regularly it was almost debilitating. How did Gord get to the point of kidney failure?
In October 2007, Gord was playing hockey. He got a cut on his wrist, and the hockey gear infected him with a strep bacteria. And that led to the failure of his kidneys. It's a very rare thing. It's called post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis. And by the time that we found out what was happening, he was only at 7% kidney functionality. And that was in November of 2007.
And what was the most profound symptom of that when you actually had to get him to the hospital and say, something's wrong?
He couldn't move. It was almost like a severe flu to the point where he just couldn't move. He was very, very ill. He was in bed. He was just not functioning at all.
So he's on dialysis then to work on behalf of his kidneys. How many times a day?
Well, he's on peritoneal dialysis, so he can do that at home.
Right.
And he does that overnight. Usually he hooks up to a machine and it works overnight, or sometimes he has to do it manually throughout the day as well. And what happens in peritoneal dialysis is you insert up to 2 liters of glucose solution into your abdominal cavity and let it dwell, and then you drain it out. So he has a catheter in his stomach to do that.
That sounds incredibly painful. You have children?
We do.
Can we show a picture of Gord?
Sure, you can.
Okay, here's Gord with the kids. Gord would love to be here right now, but he is waiting for this angel here. Let's introduce Carroll. Tell the story of how you met Carroll, Michelle.
Well, last year, actually almost a year ago to today, I was feeling really frustrated because we'd been waiting for 4 years and we hadn't been able to find a kidney donor. So some girlfriends of mine encouraged me to open a Facebook group page and just ask the community. So I went home and I did that, and I invited my friends to the group, and they invited their friends, and one of the friends that was invited was Carroll, and Carroll saw the group page and she picked up the phone and called BC Transplant.
Okay, so Carroll, it's not every day that you decide to donate your kidney. Look at it, it's making you well up. Tell us, I know, and you're allowed to, because it's doing that to all of us. I have goosebumps from head to toe. What makes you want to give your kidney to a complete stranger? Honestly.
You know, when I read the Facebook page, and you know, when this girlfriend that we have in common invited me to the page, and I read it, and I kind of got an idea of what Gord was about and his family and that, and I thought, you know, through this fluke, this guy has lost his quality of life. And if you can give that back to him and give those kids the father that they have never really known. I mean, the kids were so young when Gord got sick. That's all they know is him being sick. And if, you know, if someone can give that back to him and give Michelle back her husband and give him that quality of life, like, why not
and
try?
You know you have type O blood.
Yeah, I knew. I'm a regular blood donor, so I knew my blood type, and I thought, well, what is this page about? First of all, I'm an O, so, you know, what is this? And read the story, and then contacted Transplant.
You have 2 children.
I do have 2 kids.
And are a single parent.
Yes.
And you are donating your kidney, and you're taking how much time off work?
They say 6 to 8 weeks on average, I think.
And you're not paying her.
No.
Because you can't.
No.
That'd be bad.
This is where we bring in Dr. Jag Gill from St. Paul's Hospital. This story is remarkable. Do you get a lot of donors from Facebook meeting?
I mean, it's a good question. I mean, I should make the caveat that I've met these guys for the first time today, so I've not been familiar with the case, and it's remarkable, as you say. I think, you know, it's very tough. We ask people, you should go out there and you should try to identify potential donors, but the parameters around that are difficult to say. So typically we say you want somebody who is within your social network. There has to be an emotional link with that. So for that reason, we usually don't recommend things like social media or Facebook, or we certainly say the more generic you go, the lower the yield's going to be, and the more likely you're going to have people, truthfully, coming out of the woodwork who are going to want to be paid or whatever.
Going to want to bilk you out of money.
Yeah, exactly. And so we usually don't recommend that. And so, you know, I think what sounds like what happened here was that it was kind of a extension of their social network. It was using the technology to try to get there. And truthfully, Facebook's kind of a gray zone, right? Because this is the world we live in now, where people are using social media, people are getting married online, you know, and so I think it's a gray zone, but it's remarkable that ultimately it was, you know, a friend of a friend. It was a pretty close relationship, and then you know, typically what happens is once someone identifies himself as a donor, there's a whole very kind of process with social workers and psychologists and this whole thing to go through to identify the relationship, make sure it's healthy and it's a right decision for that person who's come forward, and it's going to work out well for the recipient.
Now let's talk about this is very important to everybody in the room and to all of us, because who knows when we might need something like this. It used to be you'd get a little sticker on your driver's license. Do you want to be a donor? You had to opt out of it. Sure. It has changed now. We have the website key. Can we put up that website key? You now have to go to a website and opt in, and you have to make sure you have your care card number with you as well. And once you're on that list, it helps your work exponentially. For
sure. I mean, I think, you know, it's always been an opt-in system. But it was, I think, people viewed it as much easier when you're going to do it with a driver's license. It's still fairly straightforward to do it through the registration, and I think the most important thing, regardless of making it known in a systematic way, is really to talk to your family and friends about it. So if your loved ones know where you stand on organ donation, in the unfortunate event that comes to pass, they're the ones that need to know.
It's your own inner social media circle.
Absolutely.
When are you having the surgery?
Hopefully the end of April.
And what will Carroll's life be like after giving up one of her kidneys?
I mean, the goal is that it won't be different at all. So, you know, there's a number of studies that have shown that the outcomes in terms of your risk of developing kidney disease, in terms of your risk of, you know, your longevity, your quality of life, all of that is just as good. And the quality of life actually may be better because you feel pretty good that you've helped, you know, someone you care about. So, you know, you don't anticipate that being different in the long term at all. The short-term period, the 6 to 8 week period, there's a recovery, right?
Yeah, it's pretty significant surgery.
And the reason why that works out well is, I think, because, you know, this is a selected person. This is someone who's gone through the rigor and is very healthy, and so is going to be okay in that process.
So we have a donation site that you have set up to help Carroll with expenses. It's funny because Michelle said Carroll's very uncomfortable with this, but we're putting it up anyway because you are an angel, and what you're banking with karma, unbelievable story. If you want to read the entire story behind this, which will make you weep, so grab the Kleenex first. We also have that website for you, and we will put it on our Facebook page. So nice to meet you. Send our best to Gord, please. Keep us updated on the story. We'd love to hear about it, and let us know how you fare through your surgery, and thank you for giving us the medical viewpoint. We appreciate it. We could talk about this for hours, but we have to head out and check in with Dawn now.